If you have an accepted industrial claim in Arizona, you can leave the state, but you have to request permission if you're going to leave for more than 14 days. And that permission is, I'd say, almost always granted, but you still need to request permission. If you do not and you leave on your own and you don't tell the insurance company or the industrial commission, then you can risk having your benefits suspended. Sometimes when clients get an attorney, they think then they shouldn't talk to anybody, and that's not true. Just like you have an employer-employee relationship with your employer, you have a doctor-patient relationship with your physician. And so you can absolutely, and you should absolutely still talk to your doctor. We don't interfere with that. We don't get in the way. If you think that there is something that we need to discuss, then you can feel free to give us a call. Anything you tell your doctor can end up in the reports, and all those reports are discoverable. And so therefore, anything you say can be discovered or known by the insurance company, the judge, if we're in litigation, sometimes your employer. So you do need to make sure that you're aware of what you're discussing with them. Sometimes you want to make sure that things do end up in the report, but if there's things that don't need to be, that aren't part of your case, then you may want to not discuss that. When you have an industrial claim in Arizona, you should try to see your doctor at least every 30 days if it's an open and active claim. And the reason for that is because the work status from the doctor is very important. Preferably every 30 days, we're sending a work status from the physician to the insurance company, so the insurance company knows whether they have to pay you and how much they have to pay you and how frequently. And if we don't have an updated work status, then sometimes it can be harder or more questionable as to your benefits. So you need to try to make sure you're seeing them at least every 30 days. Even if the doctor says don't come for 3 months, you still need to make that appointment. And if it's an open and active claim, then the insurance company is covering that appointment, and they are happy to pay for it because they want that updated work status. When you have multiple injuries and you have multiple specialists, sometimes you'll have one doctor who's kind of being the director, and that doctor will say, go to this other specialist, or go to therapy and then come back and see me. But really, especially if it's a specialist, you just need to follow whatever that doctor tells you to do. If he wants you to see you again in 2 weeks, go back in 2 weeks. If he wants to see you in a month, go back in a month. Not necessarily. If you have multiple doctors, as long as one of them is giving you a work status, that should be sufficient. But it oftentimes just depends on the insurance company, and some adjusters want more frequent visits so they know what's going on. But usually one is sufficient, as long as you're in agreement with it as well. Because one doctor may have you on light duty for let's say you have a very terrible back injury and then you have a knee injury that's not so bad, then you'd want the doctor who's monitoring the more severe injury to give you a work status, because that work status would be potentially more protective than the work status for the lesser injury.